16th annual Big Red Race, you're going to be able to say 2019, you were here for the Big Wet Race.
You don't know Mo, but Mo raced Miss Chaput's sophomore year at me, and he lost.
I really wish you the best of luck. I hope you will need it.
What are your feelings pre-race?
This is Thomas Lay. He is a new sophomore. So, Thomas, how do you feel pre-race?
Pre-race, I'm gonna win.
You're gonna win?
I'm gonna win.
This is Mrs. Chaput. She is Thomas's English teacher. Thomas and Mrs. Chaput are both in the Griswold house.
I'm not worried.
What experience do you have running long distance races?
I don't. So.
I don't know if this is a fair matchup.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see. I run a lot, so, but I don't know. We'll see how this goes. The deal is if Thomas loses, when Thomas loses, he has to run for Griswold House president. If Thomas wins.
When I win.
When he wins.
Well, to be decided. Yeah.
No. We need to set the terms before we run.
Then what do you want to do?
I guess Thomas's stakes are pretty low.
Let's see. Then I get
Free quiz.
a free quiz grade.
I give you a free quiz.
All right.
Deal.
There you go.
Deal. Race is on. Good luck.
So the plan is just to use everything I have from I'm gonna sprint until I can't.
Don't. She's gonna beat you. You have to pace
That's what Mo did. That's what Mo did.
Can we get some warm-up action? Get yourself.
I hydrated. See? Free hydration. Good. Yeah, I'm really nervous, actually. I'm a little nervous about Thomas. I think he's crazy. No training, woke up at 10 to eat, probably didn't eat breakfast, but crazy can sometimes beat you.
On your marks, get set, go! Disqualified! Disqualified!
Miss Chaput, how are you doing right now?
Okay, it hurts.
How far into the race are we?
Not even a mile.
Have you seen Thomas Lay? How's he doing? Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a good mindset to have right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Really committed to beating it right now.
What would you say was the hardest part of the race?
I don't know. Probably like start.
Yeah, I saw Thomas shoot out of the start like a cannon. I was a little nervous. Until like the 100 meters in when he like slowed down.
Overall, people seemed pretty good spirits, so there was nothing like not necessarily bad, but yeah, it was pretty good.
I saw Terrence like dumping water on people's heads. It was wet. Yeah, I never lost my focus, so I don't know about this one. And no Griswold boys beat me, so no money out.
Hi, and welcome to L10. I'm Michaela Boxley, and this week I'm joined by Caroline Bednar, our senior news producer.
So that was third former Thomas Lay, taking on his teacher, cross-country and track coach Katie Chaput, at Lawrenceville's Big Red Race, which took place this past Sunday. Mrs. Chaput beat Thomas by quite a landslide, but there's always next year.
The annual 5K brings people from Lawrenceville and the surrounding community together and serves as one of the biggest fundraisers for Lawrenceville's school camp.
This week, we have many more great stories to bring you. Before we get into the rest of them, here's some sports news.
First, congrats to Serena Chen, this year's first-place finisher at the Mercer County High School Girls Golf Championship. Serena has been runner-up for the past few years, but got the win this time by 1 point with an even par 72.
Girls track and field broke 3 school records this past weekend at the Mercer Coaches Classic. Record setters were Margot Terrison in the 1600, sprinters Ashley Rayner, Marcia Ojo, Audrey Lazar, Amy Ariraguzo, and Pat McGrath in the javelin. Also, both the boys and girls were state champions this past Monday. Next up, senior arts producer Fiona Pando and specialty producer Kelsey McAllister bring you the story of 4th former Kate Partridge and her love for making art.
Hi, my name is Kate Partridge. I'm a junior in Kirby, and my passion is art. I've always loved doing arts and crafts and stuff like that ever since I was little. The first time that I took art really seriously was when I got into foundations, and I did that freshman year. When I took foundations, I really realized that it was something that it was like really fun for me, and I would go to the art room all the time after school and just like sit there and either work on my projects for class or my projects that was just for me. And definitely Advanced Studio was one of the best decisions I ever made. In Advanced Studio, we get to do more of our own thing and really figure out who we are as an artist. I've really discovered that I love doing detailed work and a lot of the stuff that I do. So for most of the year, we're doing our concentration, which is what we submit to the AP board. My concentration is on water. I think my favorite piece that I've done so far, part of my concentration, is the one of someone washing their hands, because I feel like when you're washing your hands, you're obviously not looking at the water, like how it reflects and stuff like that. But when I took a photo of it and then I drew like all the little like water dripping off the hands and stuff like that, I thought it looked really interesting. The art building being under construction is definitely a little bit difficult or frustrating at times because we are in the basement of Abbott. But over the year, I've definitely grown to love it, and I will be missing it. But I think that next year with the art building going to be finished, maybe I won't get to use it, but other kids will. It's just like encourage a lot of other kids to become artists. You can do other types of art, such as like woodworking or ceramics or stuff like that. That's just like in a better and like beautiful environment. I feel like art for me has really been just like an outlet. It's not only just something like that I can express myself with, because, you know, like drawing a lot of photos of water bottles is not really expressing myself, but it's just like something that I really love to do, and it's always so rewarding at the end because it's like all your hard work and like the so many hours that you put into one piece of art on just like a little piece of paper like comes together finally, and it just feels like really good. Art will definitely be a part of my life whether I pursue it in college or in my career or not. I feel like the creativity and like precision and all those types of skills that you use in art will definitely continue to be with me for the rest of my life, and even if I don't do it in a job, I'll definitely have it as a hobby.
Thanks, Fiona and Kelsey. Now, a shout out to some Laurentians doing great things.
First off, congratulations to Stephanie Owusu and Jimmy Chen, who were announced at this school meeting this year's Mario Award winners. Each year, the award goes to 2 4th formers, one from the Circle and one from the Crescent, who have contributed selflessly to the houses and the greater Lawrenceville community.
The award contributes to both students' 5th form tuition, house funds, and a house celebration.
Also, congrats to 5th formers Ben Fisk and Jacob Wu, who have recently been named National Merit Scholars.
In our final segment this week, we'll take you inside the minds of Lawrenceville's known and loved athletic trainers, Mr. Larson and Mr. Kukla.
It wasn't until my freshman year of college that I was sort of introduced into sports medicine and athletic training. I was always interested in healthcare and going into the healthcare field, but once I found athletic training, it just seemed like it was the right fit.
Probably the fall is probably our busiest, just because even though we'd like to think our kids are doing a lot over the summer, some are not, so they come in out of shape a little bit, and so that's their first season back. So we see some overuse injuries early on from the kids not being conditioned. And also we have varsity and JV football, which is probably our most demanding sport.
We hire on, if you will, a couple of students each term, and they basically are with us from a day-to-day perspective, and they learn sort of the ins and outs of our job, our profession, but they're much more than that in terms of helping us set up the field, helping us with logistics, administrative work. They're with us on the field, they're with us on the athletic training room. They learn simple things in terms of anatomy, some functional, therapy.
I really love working at Lawrenceville. If all other athletic training jobs were like Lawrenceville, people would be better athletic trainers elsewhere. Like Mr. Kukla, when a kid walks in the training room and he's a Kennedy guy, he could get the holistic approach on working with that student athlete.
I just like the feel of the community. As soon as I started doing research, I wasn't very familiar with the private boarding school setting. But as soon as I stepped on campus, met Mr. Larson, met Mr. Goldenberg, met a lot of the students, the other faculty, administrators. I mean, it just really felt like home, and it felt like you had a lot of support. But not to mention, you have these amazing facilities at your hands, and you have really competitive sports. It was just something that, immediately I was drawn to, and I've been happy ever since. It's my 10th year now.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's show. Look out for more content from our team on YouTube and Instagram.
As always, if you have a story to tell, let us know, or stop by our office in the basement of Pop.
That's all for this week. From all of us here at L10, thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.